Arsenal, Man United.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the Red Devils Disciples. It's your boy Rob here and we're analysing Newport County versus Man United in the fourth round of the FA Cup. It's important to start off with saying that Newport County are ranked 76 places below us in terms of the English footballing pyramid. However, the game finished 4-2 and did not look like we were playing someone from that division. On that division, I mean League Two. I would say we started off very professionally. Bruno got a nice goal in the 6th minute. We also had another goal a couple of minutes later by Kobe Mainu. Anthony and I believe it was Dalot with the assist for the second one for Kobe Mainu. To be honest with you, we should have killed the game off at that point, but we just didn't. We just were very wasteful. We should have put the ball in the back of the net a few more times, killed the game off. The crowd were already dead at this point, but Newport County weren't done. We then conceded a worldie of a goal when Morris took a shot from a fair distance away from the edge of the box, took a deflection off Martinez's head when he was trying to block it, but actually what that did was help the shot get past Bayandir. It went right into the right-hand side of his goal, and there was nothing he could have done to reach it because it was beyond him. We then sort of tried to put the pressure back on, tried to step back into it, tried to get another goal. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that before the half, and then straight after half-time, we fell asleep again. We've done this before this year. We conceded goals in the first 5 minutes through lack of concentration. Players came down our right wing. One of those situations where Anthony didn't really close down. Diego Dalot didn't really close down. Dalot almost looked at it as to say it was somebody else's job rather than get out there and try and stop the cross from coming in. And then Evans just beat Varane to the ball side and toe poked it into the back of the net. Again, it was just a lack of concentration. Then took us about 10 minutes to get going again. And once we did, though, we took control of the game again. We got a goal off a deflection, good save by the keeper, dropped to Anthony on his right foot, and the dude finally uses his right foot. So it does exist. It's not a myth. It's not a miracle. It's not the unicorn. And he put the ball in the back of the net off a volley with his right leg. And then Rasmus Højlund got a goal to kill the game off at the end of the match, where there was a bit of a melee of bodies in there where everyone was bouncing off each other. The ball then fell to nobody and just was in the middle of everyone. And Rasmus really awkwardly kind of stood over it and just stood and shot, essentially, with his left foot. But it just looked like it was an awkward goal. But at the end of the day, a goal's a goal. So well done to him. Well done for getting himself on the score sheet. We need him scoring more goals. And just a few interesting stats. We had about 71% of possession today throughout the game. And it was one of those situations where we dominated possessions. However, when you look at the shots, it tells a slightly different story. We had 22 shots, 9 on target, 4 goals. Great, right? They had 17 shots and 2 goals from those 17 shots. Now, if we're conceding 17 shots to Newport County, when it comes to Wolves on Thursday, that's a different animal over there. We give them that many shots, we're going to be punished. So it's one of those things that we need to fix it quickly. In terms of predicted teams, this was the team that I predicted. As you see, I did put Marcus Rashford into the left wing, who was left out because of injury. At least that was what was reported. When pressed on the matter, essentially... due to the fact that there were pictures of him out partying on Thursday. The reporter asked Ten Hag, was that part of the reason why he's been left out of the squad? And all that Ten Hag gave the reporter was, it was an internal matter. The reporter then tried to say, is this a disciplinary issue? It's an internal matter. So all the responses he gave was, is it an internal matter? And I don't quite mind that. I think it's Ten Hag's way of not feeding the media clickbait. At the same time, he's not going to stand there and lie to them, is he? So I have no issue with what he said. To the squad that did go out in the end, all it was that Anthony came in for Rashford, which makes sense. He's the next senior player. Garnacho switched to left wing, which is his natural position and where he prefers. Anthony played on the right wing, which is his natural position where he prefers. At the end of the day, it was an easy fix. Bayandir conceded 2 goals today, and I actually thought he played okay, to be honest with you. The first goal, like I said, was a bit of a worldie. It wasn't his fault. The second goal, again, I don't think it was his fault. His positioning was quite good today. One of the things that he looked much better at than what I see with Onana is where he puts himself, and when the ball comes to him, he places himself at the right angles, in the right positions. He doesn't stand awkwardly waiting for you to make a decision. He makes the decision for you. I saw him come out a few times. I saw him make saves when the balls came towards him. I saw him come forward and step back. The ball, there was a looping header at one point, and he stepped forward as if to come to the ball. Realized the looping header and was quick enough with his feet to step back and catch the ball. And I think it's one of those where I've given him a 6 out of 10. And quite frankly, I would seriously consider starting him against Wolves on Thursday, and potentially not starting Onana. And I know Onana's back with Cameroon have been locked out of the AFCON, but I would consider playing this man another game just to see what he's made of, essentially. And at left back, we had Luke Shaw. With Luke Shaw, I've given him a 6 out of 10 again. Also, he got 81 minutes out of it. Didn't really look like he had all the gears there yet. He almost looked like he was missing a step, which is fine. It's probably just cobwebs. It's, match fitness and sharpness, which we completely understand. Didn't play particularly badly or anything like that, so I've given him a 6 out of 10. Got 81 minutes out of it. I thought that was good enough for Luke Shaw today. At right back, we've got Dalot, which I've also given a 6 out of 10, which is a bit of a weird one because he did get a goal, he did get an assist, should I say, for Kobe Mainoo. However, he did leave us exposed at times down that right wing. The second goal, I do feel he could have done a lot more, and he probably would have got a higher rating if he did try and do something about it. But as always, Dalot is great going forward, but sometimes he does leave us exposed at the back, and I almost want him to develop that defensive side of the game so that we're not in those positions anymore. Lisandro, I've given him a 6.5. The Butcher Ganicero got 90 minutes under his belt, which, considering that he's not played more than 30 minutes in the last 3 months, I think it's great for him to play 90 minutes. I think he sets standards. I think whenever he's on the pitch, everybody just has a boost, just ups their level a little bit. So it was good to see him back today. Varane, I've given him a 5.5 today. Varane, he didn't play particularly bad. Didn't really have much to do, to be honest with you. I felt like he could have done more for the second goal, and the fact that Evans beat him to ball side, it's sort of a repetitive theme with Varane. I almost feel like either his legs are going a little bit, or he's just not paying attention at the right times. But hopefully it's something that we can rectify with a bit of sharpness and a bit of fitness training. I've given Mainoo a 7 out of 10 today. I thought he had a very good game today. He played a similar role to what McTominay's been playing for us. Gets forward. He got a goal today. Well done to him. His first senior goal for Man United, which is great. But also, one of the things that he did that McTominay doesn't is he gets back, and he's also positionally aware of where the opposing midfielders are. And I feel like that's what we've been lacking this year. And having him and Casemiro play together in central mid meant that one of them got freed a little bit, but then still did the tracking back. It's definitely a good partnership. Definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing. Interestingly, Casemiro was the one who stayed back more out of the two of them and sort of played the holding midfielder role, which I know he's done previously with Real Madrid, but for some reason, I would have thought that he, as a more experienced player, would be the one going forward, though Mainoo has more legs than him, so it makes sense that it would be Mainoo. But no, they worked really well today together. Casemiro did look off the pace slightly. He made some really clumsy fouls, and it didn't seem like tactical fouls. It just seemed like he didn't get there. Similar to Varane, just looked like he's missing a step, and that just might be match fitness and sharpness, which is really good that we got it out of the way today. Hopefully for Wolves, he'll be in a much better place. And then obviously we've got Bruno Fernandes, who got the opening goal, controlled the game all the way through. Him and Mainoo together in midfield. You could see the difference that him, Mainoo, and Casemiro have when the three of them are on the pitch. We look like a completely different team. He was trying all sorts of passes. He had a bit more of a free role today, which is what I suspected would happen if he had those two behind him. Like I said, he got a goal, and he was probably our most threatening player out there today. And today he did get man of the match. So well done to him. We've got Alejandro Garnacho. I've given a 6 out of 10 today. It looks dangerous, but it just needs a bit of end product. And by end product, I don't mean necessarily scoring the goal. I mean, there were times where he could have just squared the ball for a tap-in for either Bruno or for Højlund. And he just decided to go for it himself. And then other times where he should have gone for it himself, he decided to cut the ball back and just made a whole mess of it. So he just needs to be better with his decision-making in the final third. Obviously, incredible promise, incredible talent over here that we have on our hands. it's really excited to watch him play. I just want to see a little bit more in terms of that final third. Like, to the point where I did see today Hoyland get frustrated at him and actually shout at him and just say, "What are you doing? Get me the ball." And I completely understand why Hoyland feels that way, because he was left isolated. Right, Anthony. Bit of a paradox here. He got a goal and assist, but I've given him a 6.5. He got a goal and assist, but I feel like he didn't have a great game. I just feel like he wastes so many chances, and he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He goes and cuts inside to the left. Next one, you think, oh, maybe he'll take it. No, cuts inside to the left, takes a shot. Cuts inside to the left, takes a shot. I want to see more from him. I don't want to see him just go one way. I want to see him take on defenders on the other way. Why don't you go to your right? Take a defenders on once or twice to the right. Watch how they're not expecting you to go left anymore. And all of a sudden, you'll find that when you go left, you've got that little bit more space because defenders are unsure on that first step of yours. If you just go left, a good team will just shut you down and show you to your right foot. And ironically, the goal he scored was with his right foot, which proves to me that, like I said before, he's got a right foot. Just he doesn't use it enough. I want more from Anthony. I think he's got a lot more in his locker. I think it could be really good for us if he just let go. And then obviously Hoyland up front. I feel bad for Hoyland today. He was an absolute workhorse. He just did all the grunt work, did all the heavy lifting for the other attacking players, made the runs in behind, pulled defenders out of position, everything that you'd want for a striker, he did it, and he just didn't stop running. And he got his reward in the end with that little sort of melee where all the bodies collided, and it was one of those where the ball dropped to him, he just smacked into the back of the net, and you could see the relief on his face when he scored that goal. And I'm glad he's done it, because he's the kind of player that I can see going on a bit of a run with goals. He scored a few more recently than he had been scoring in the Premier League. He went for a bit of a drought there, and then for the Champions League, for some reason, was scoring goals galore. But it was good to see him getting on the score sheet tonight. A few honourable mentions. Subs over here, where we had, obviously, McTominay came in for Casemiro in the 82nd minute. We had Kumbwala, who came in for Shaw at the same time. Kumbwala played at right back, though, not at left back. We just switched that over across today. We had Maguire come in for Martinez. And at the same time, Forson came in for Anthony. That Hoyland goal I was talking about earlier was actually Forson that made that run in and caused the massive melee and pile up of bodies. So it was good to see the youngster getting in there, not being afraid to get on the end of the ball. And then we had Evans for Varane on the 97th minute, but I think that was more of a let's kill the game off, get Varane off, give him an applause or whatever, and just make sure that we wasted a little bit of time. The subs did well, nothing really major other than that Forson run. But to be honest with you, nothing else to really talk about there. Final thoughts. 4-2. Professional. Job done. If we play against Wolves like this, we will get mauled. We need to step it up on Thursday. That was not good enough from Manchester United against a League 2 team. Look, I'm not trying to take anything away from Newport County. Okay, they did really well. Okay, played the game of their lives. And I'm sure they'll all remember this for the rest of their lives. The day that they scored 2 goals against Man United, they had them on the ropes at 2-2 at one point. But we need to step it up for Wolves. Otherwise, we are going to be in deep trouble. There were 3 things that I wanted to see today a little bit more of, which was overlapping win-backs, which, to be fair, Dalot did do quite a bit of overlapping, so I'm going to give him his props there. Luke Shaw did look a little bit, like I said before, almost like he was missing a gear, missing a little bit of sharpness. I would like to see a little bit more from Shaw in terms of that, but I'm sure it will come with time. Then it was central midfielders communicating and working together and sort of covering each other. If one goes forward, another one fills out. Well, I'll tell you this, Casemiro and Mainu are probably the best centre midfield pairing we've had this year, and obviously having Bruno having Bruno just in front of them, that's a new one. Having Bruno just in front of them, made a difference because it meant that he got a free roll. So I think that worked. The third thing I wanted to see more of was Hoyland receiving crosses, and that definitely did not happen. The poor guy had no service, didn't take a single shot in the first half, and I think we had over 10 shots in the first half, and our striker did not get one single shot. He's just not being served at the moment. We are not taking care of our striker. We are not setting him up to succeed. You saw it by the 60th minute. He was shouting at Garnacho and shouting at Anthony, and just frustrated. Like, just give me the damn ball. So I want to see us getting the ball to him. Just easy tap-ins. Easy tap-ins. It doesn't need to be these world-class crosses. And, if you want to dribble past 5 players and then pass them the ball so you can tap it in, go for it. But the guy needs to get the ball, and he's just not getting the ball. I think we got away with it a little bit today. I'm not going to lie to you. The fact that we were 2-0 up and we could have killed the game off and we didn't. They brought it back to 2-2. And then the fact that we had to go fight to get that 4-2 is a little bit worrying. We got away with it, like I said. But let's use this as a stepping stone and use this as what it was, which was getting some of our players that have just come back into fitness much ready and sharpness up. In terms of everything else, guys, thank you so much if you're still here listening. Big shout out to Steve-O, who's listened to every single one of my videos from start to finish, and I know he has. Thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe, and please turn on notifications for when I drop videos. Thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely day. See you soon.